There we go. Now I should be live on YouTube and on Twitch. And that means I'll have to monitor 2 chats. Which is gonna be entertaining, to say the least. Interesting, to say the least. Entertaining, to say the most. Assuming that both chats aren't shit. A little bit of a joke. Wow, that music is loud because I actually have my mixer turned up way higher than I normally have my mixer turned up. Well, it says I'm live on both things, so why is it not telling me that I'm live on YouTube? Alright, restream, you're being weird. It says I'm live. So, okay. Okay. Let's try actually going to YouTube again then. I'd very much like to be able to monitor the chat from YouTube. Yes. Setup. Everybody likes watching setup. Oh wait, nope, live stream. There! So that's how you get to your fucking stream on YouTube. Okay, so I can just... Can I edit the stream title here? Oh, yes I can. I'm gonna just copy paste that over from here. There we go. So now it should say the correct thing on both if I reload you. Yep. Live chat is open. Okay. I am live. Good. Let's just monitor chat. And let's figure out how to get to chat with you in a small window. Theater mode. Exit theater mode. What if I just organize the windows something fierce? There we go. That works. I can't directly see the stream, but that works anyway. What time is it? 9:49? I still got some time. Alright, good. Alright. Actually, I've got a better idea for this. Full screen view. I'll put you here. There. Now I can sort of see the stream. That's fine. At least I can watch chat from both of them. Music's going, stream sounds okay mix-wise, that's all good. Like to get somebody into the channel to talk to me, but that's fine.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Oh no, you can stay. Yeah.
That makes perfectly fine.
Yeah. I'm about to stream TerrafirmaCraft, which is sort of a... I don't want to say a hardcore take on survival, it's just... It's more complicated in a good way. They're not necessarily going for realism with the mod. Oh, I've loved this mod, by the way, since it came out, like, fucking 5 years ago. They're not really going for what you would call realism, they're going for just... less dumb, basically. Like, you actually have to work up to iron, which in history has been pretty not easy to mine, basically. I like it. It's a little bit more complicated, but in a good way, in my opinion. Anyway, yeah, no. So the stream doesn't start for 8 minutes. You don't have to play, I just feel weird talking to myself still. It's been a while since I actually did anything stream-like alone, so, you know, my brain's not used to, I'm gonna sit here and talk to absolutely no one for 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, however long.
Right.
Oh wow, I have the volume turned down so I don't have to mess with the volume of my music, and you should be coming through just fine volume-wise, but I can't hear you for shit because I turned it down on my mixer. Thing is, I love the music that Cyril made me, but that's a bit of a problem because, how do I put it? It's distracting. I'm not good at talking over music. Never have been. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna really quick see if the volume is actually okay on the stream for you so that I don't have to remix a whole bunch of shit. Or rather, so that if I do have to remix a bunch of shit, I can remix all of that shit now, when it's still 7 minutes before touchdown, or whatever, and kick off, or... I don't know. I was going for fucking launch, and then I said touchdown like an idiot.
Well, I'm gonna go. I got games to scream at.
The whole metaphor dissolved, basically.
Later.
Stop being a cunt. Oh yeah, ads. Okay, go ahead and say something really quick. Fred? Oh, he left. That explains many things. Okay, never mind. It looks like I will be streaming alone tonight. Good to you. Actually, hold on. I wonder if I can get Matt in on this. Okay, well, the answer is no. I can't get Madden on this. He is asleep. Yay. So yeah, I am definitely doing this alone tonight then. Neat. Alright, well, might as well get started then, since it's almost time. Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. All of that of you. Tonight we'll be playing TerrafirmaCraft, which is a Minecraft mod that focuses on making the game a little bit more realistic without making it too realistic as to make it boring. Well, some people think it makes it boring anyway. I don't. I love it. I've been playing this mod for years. Anyway, it's pretty fun, but it takes a little bit of getting used to. So, for starters, if you know TerrafirmaCraft, welcome. If you don't know TerrafirmaCraft, I'm going to be explaining what I'm doing along the way. Alright, so first off, you don't start by punching trees in TerrafirmaCraft. That's not a thing. You'll get no wood and you'll waste your time. What you do is first pick up rocks so that you can nap those, or stones, so that you can sort of flint nap that stone into tools, such as an axe, to chop down the trees. Now, flint napping right off the bat to get your stone axe, that's pretty easily suggested, but frankly, I don't find cutting down trees to be super useful until you've actually got a saw, which you need to get metal in, which requires a fair bit of stuff. Anyway, I happen to find when I created the world, I spawned on this toast over here. I walked around in it for 15-20 minutes off stream just to see what was nearby. The answer, not a whole lot. Anyway, so I got a pretty decent spawn. For starters, the rock type here is Basalt, which is important because Basalt... I'm streaming, go away. It is Thursday at 10 o'clock. These people should fucking know better. God damn. And now my guinea pig's acting up because the door was open. Yay. Anyway. For sake, now what am I gonna do? I'm distracted now. I'm distracted. That distracted me. Where was I? Yeah, so Basalt Rock is important because it's an igneous stone, which means it can be used to form a stone anvil early game, which means we can get started on metalworking early game. It's also pretty important because it's my favorite rock type. But even more important than that is it spawns gold, silver, copper, bismuth, redstone, and I think other metals that I can't remember off the top of my head. But those are all important because with the exception of spawning zinc, it spawns all of the materials needed for bismuth bronze, which is one of the best early game materials because you can get bismuth bronze usually about as early on as you can get copper because they can both be made into tools using a pit kiln, which is a hole full of fire, which is used to melt metal in pots, which you then pour into molds to make your tools. I'll be showing that later on once I get enough copper to do something. There's the bismuth and the redstone, by the way. It's poor bismuth, which means there's only 15 units per block you break. 15 units basically means... How do I explain this? Alright, so every bit of ore has a unit value assigned to it. It goes 15, 25, 35. And in order to make an ingot, you need 100 units of a given metal, right? Simple. So, having 15 units of bismuth means that since bismuth bronze needs to be either 15, 15, 70, well, anywhere from 15% of bismuth and zinc to about 20% bismuth and zinc and about 60% copper. I think it tops... Actually, hold on. I have an ore calculator in here. Let's just look that up really quick so I can better show it. And... bismuth bronze. Yeah. So it can be... Oh! I have my numbers wrong. 10% to 20% bismuth, 20% to 30% zinc, and 50 to 65% copper. Which is a pretty easy ratio to get to. Oh, I remember what I was thinking black bronze, which is silver, gold, copper. Black bronze is what I made my set of tools out of in my most recent single-player game early on. And yeah, you end up remembering these numbers basically because you'll stick with one ratio for the majority of the Bronze Age, as it were. And that's important because it maximizes the amount of yield you can get out of a single type of material. Darn, so there are no plants on this island for me to eat just yet. Which sucks because that means I'm gonna have to go to the mainland, which means I'm gonna have to swim to the mainland. Which is, hopefully that's the mainland way over there, and not just another island with nothing on it, which is the most likely option. But for now, I guess I'll show you flint knapping really quick. Basically, that's how you make knives. It's different for everything, what you do there, but think of it as sort of reverse crafting, where you're removing material instead of adding it to shape a thing, and that's about as complicated as it gets. You may have noticed that there's a grayed out 3x3 crafting window in here. You can't use that basically until you get to the Bronze Age, because you need to saw down logs into planks to make plank blocks to make a crafting table, which then expands the crafting table in your inventory. You don't actually use a crafting table block in this game pretty much ever. I don't think you ever use it, actually. Oh, yay, Blood Moon. I'm screwed. But, long story short, this is a little bit complicated, and it's easiest to explain when you get to stuff. So I'll be doing a little bit more of that than I will explaining everything right off the bat, but for now it's just easier to talk about what I'm gonna do rather than what I'm doing, because, well, right now I'm not doing much of anything, because there's not much of anything to do when you spawn on a tiny little island. But that tiny little island is probably the best spawn I could have gotten, because A, I like islands, B, it's got basalt, which is my favorite type of stone, C, it's got spruce, which is my second favorite type of tree, and D, it's got hickory, which is my first favorite type of tree. They work really well together when building houses because hickory has a dark wood and spruce has a very light wood. It's one thing that Minecraft Vanilla gets wrong is the color of spruce wood, and it bugs the hell out of me as somebody who works with wood in the real world, but that's not super important. It is neat, though, how much detail TerrafirmaCraft has. Like, you can see that that's a different type of stone than was on the island. God, I wish I could... Andesite, maybe? It might be. I wish I could identify that just from there, but I can't. Oh, this is bad. This is bad times. I can't set time today because I don't have cheats enabled. There are a lot of monsters there, and I need to get to that island to not starve to death. So, we're going to be hanging out in the ocean for about 15 minutes while I ramble on about nothing. So that's going to be fun. And hopefully don't die of starvation, because your hunger goes down passively. And also swimming consumes hunger in vanilla anyway, so yay. Anyway, I don't know why blood moons are installed. I went with a pre-made pack on... Well, now it's called Twitch, but it used to be called the Cursed Launcher, or Cursed for Minecraft. Which basically just allows you to download mod packs that other people make to make your life easier. Or build your own mod packs, it's pretty easy. I should have done that, but TerrafirmaCraft isn't actually on the Curse Launcher, and while you can get you can get mod packs pre-assembled with mods that aren't on the launcher, it's a little bit more difficult to install them manually yourself. So I just decided to go with a pre-built pack, and it has blood moons, which have been a constant source of irritation for me, and may well end this stream right off the cuff, because, well, you know, have you maybe noticed that I have 988 HP? Most of them have more than that. And this knife does how much damage? 40. So, at least 20 hits to kill anything with it. Assuming that they're sensitive to piercing damage, which is the type of damage that the knife does. So, spiders and zombies, 20 to 30 hits. Skeletons, well, you're not going to kill skeletons with a knife. You're not going to stab a skeleton to death. That's just not going to happen. Thankfully, the sun seems to be, or the moon seems to be setting already, so with any luck, this will be over soon. By the way, zombies and skeletons die almost immediately in daylight in TerrafirmaCraft, which is nice. But, yeah. God dang, look at how quickly they spawn in while I'm going over the coast. In, I was gonna say vanilla TerrafirmaCraft. In base TerrafirmaCraft, with just TerrafirmaCraft installed, you can sort of skirt along the coast to take advantage of limited mob spawns at night, but with Blood Moon, there is no limit to how many mobs can be around you, or at least it's very, very high, and they respawn instantaneously when their limit isn't being currently met. And in a very narrow range around you, making that a very concentrated number of monsters. And it's bad. It's just generally bad. It's not super fun. But, on the bright side, it's almost midnight. Oh god, they saw me. And before anybody thinks, oh, well, once you get to, like, iron or steel, that's gonna be easy because because those materials do a lot of damage. Not during a blood moon. Blood moons make mobs stronger to begin with. So, this is always going to be a threat, basically. On top of that, it's hardcore mode, so they can break down wooden doors, which means that houses aren't necessarily going to be safe. Unless you take advantage of the fact that mobs don't have the best AI in the world. But I kind of do like that, though, because it does mean that there's going to be no point where suddenly my house is perfectly safe and I can just chill out inside all night. You can't sleep during a blood moon either, so there's no way to pass a blood moon away. Which is good and bad in pretty much equal measures. Now, I'm getting weakness and mining fatigue because I am about to start starving to death. I am sincerely hoping that daytime arrives soon, because I am legitimately going to die pretty quickly. And that is not good. Ah, man. Well, on the bright side, it's not too terribly much longer until daylight, right? 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 Wrong. It's gonna be a while, and it's gonna be bad while I'm waiting. But hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with being absolutely screwed. Right? Absolutely nothing wrong with being perfectly screwed. Jesus. At very least, the Blood Moon means I'm going to be able to build a pretty efficient mob spawner. Or at least it'll be efficient during blood moons, which means I can get a lot of gunpowder, which is great, because gunpowder is super useful in TerrafirmaCraft for mining. Because if you destroy a block containing ore in any way, no matter how that block is removed, the ore will drop, which is important. Because that basically means that blast mining is a thing that is both functional and fairly efficient. And that's great, because it's super useful. Oh no, I way overestimated how much health these monsters have. Huh. Well, at least zombies, I guess I can probably fight off then. Not indefinitely though. Stone tools have, like, no durability, so my knife is gonna break almost instantly when I start fighting one of them. But hey, that's how it goes, right? Ah, jeez. This is... I mean, it's kind of annoying that the first night is a blood moon. Because the first night is always a blood moon when you have blood moon. And when I say kind of annoying, I mean downright infuriating, because the first night is one of the most important times in a TerrafirmaCraft playthrough. Because it's sort of where you get your start surviving, almost. I mean, you can obviously start after the first night. It's not like anything special happens on the first night. But assuming that you're playing single player and not on a server, the first night that the world goes through is your first night. And you can't really ignore it because hunger goes down passively. And seasons change you get all of this other stuff that makes the game very time-dependent. Which is fun. It's really fun. But it also poses a huge challenge, which is good because challenges are fun. So basically, it's fun, but it's fun. Which makes perfect sense. Screw you if you disagree. Jeez, man. Come on, moon. Go down. Sun, rise. Come on, sunrise. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. By the way, for some reason, there's a mod in this mod pack that adds lens flares, which I find to be both hilarious and adorable, because it makes the game so much more cinematic all of a sudden. Not that I like the overuse of lens flares in movies to add a quick touch of, you know, what's a good word? Aesthetic. But, I mean, they're fun to look at. It does mean that if you look towards the sun, it will blur your screen a little bit like that, which is a little bit on the annoying side, but completely copable. Oh man, come on, die already, everything. Yes, start dying. Unfortunately, there seem to be some monsters with armor on, and others hiding in the forest. So, I'm still pretty much screwed, in all honesty. Which shouldn't be a surprise. In fact, it's not a surprise. But, as long as I'm careful, and by careful I mean keep moving, I should be fine, right? I accidentally looked at an Enderman. That was mistake number one. Oh, that's a javelin skeleton. Oh, please let me find food, like, right now. And fresh water. Water is basically, you need water because water will keep you from sprinting and also kill you if you run out of it. You need food because food. Come on, let me drink. Oh, it's in hard mode, which means that I can't just drink from the river. I need to first craft some clay pottery. Alright, well, time to look back at the stone knapping interface. Shovels are... oh my god, they're a godsend if you know how to use them. There you go, that's a shovel head. Now you put that on a stick. Basically, if you make a stone tool, if you make a tool head of any kind, you put it on a stick. Tool heads go on sticks. That's how that works. Now, I am starving and dehydrating, Jeff. And because it's hard mode, I'm only going to get one clay out of every single block that I mine, which is... oh no. Nope, that is not how it works. Okay. I think that was another add-on mod I had another playthrough, but at one point, if you were mining clay in hardcore mode or hard mode, you would only get one. So that's probably an add-on mod. At least more copper on the ground. Yeah, if you're noticing that there is little bits of ore on the ground, those are clusters, I believe they're called. Oh, no, nuggets. Whatever. Anyway, they're basically how you get metal initially, because you need metal in order to make your first pickaxe. You cannot make a pickaxe out of anything but metal. It has to at least be, you know, copper. You can't make... metals you can't make a pickaxe out of. Tin... well, okay. How about metals you can make a pickaxe out of? Copper, bronze, iron, steel. Those are the three types of metal, general types of metal, that you can make pickaxes out of. Or tools in general, actually. And I believe that is... oh no, it's gabbro. I thought it was dacite. I was wrong. They look very similar. Gabbro is not an igneous rock, whereas dacite, I believe, is. So it's a little bit less useful than the basalt, but there is basalt on this island I saw it a moment ago. You can tell what rock type you're in by looking at, like, what color the dirt is, or, you know, looking at stone. But regardless how you do it, rock type is super important. Because, again, different types of rock used to have different Words. Durabilities, but I don't believe they do anymore. But more importantly than that, different types of rocks spawn different types of metal, and it's important to keep track of that. Now, in general, knowing what type of metal spawns and what type of rock, like knowing the full list isn't super important. It's just important to, you know, what's a good way of wording this? Understand that the brute force approach is possible, basically. If you wander around long enough, you will find all of the different types of metal. If you get really lucky, you'll find most of what you need for bronze nearby. Now, cassiterite is the only tin ore in the game, so if you're looking to make basic bitch bronze, good luck. It's not super easy to find in my experience. I have yet to find enough tin to make a steady supply of basic bronze in a single playthrough. I have found about 5 tin veins ever, and I have played through to the Iron and then Steel Age about well over 20 times now. This isn't the only mod pack I play, and I don't play it all the time, but I've played it on and off since it was, well, since the mod came out, basically. Put it this way, I've played it since... Oh god, you know, I honestly can't remember when I started. I know it was right after they added rocks falling, which is really early on in the development of the mod. So, a while ago. I remember back when these stones on the ground weren't little stone icons, or, you know, weren't the icon, but on the ground. I remember when they were actually, like, little blocks. Like, they were little 3D blocks that weren't necessarily cubically shaped, but they were rectangularly prismatic in shape, which is, you know, neat. It's very nice, though. I love this mod, basically. And I'm annoyed because I'm not finding what I was hoping to find, which was edible plants. Well, I did find corn, I guess. Corn is a great band if you're into, like, edgy metal. I say edgy metal specifically because there's metal that, like, you can listen to in front of friends and not feel weird about. And then there's corn. And corn. That's spelled with a K, by the way. K-O-R-N. I love their music, but I hate admitting it. Which is why I just admitted it publicly. Because I'm smart like that. Okay, this is going to be a decent area to build because it's fairly flat. Terraforming is possible, but it's not easy in TerrafirmaCraft by any stretch of the imagination. So it's important to find an area that's at least fairly flat with all the types of wood you want to build with nearby. Well, basically just so that they're easy to get to. Oh, cherry trees. These are fruit trees. Fruit trees bloom at a certain time of year, basically over the course of whatever time of year. Like, you can see this one in, what am I looking at? It says early summer to early summer. That means that cherry trees will blossom continuously through early summer, making them a good fruit source in the early summer. Which I guess is all fairly self-explanatory. But fruit is really good because you can make certain types of alcohol out of it, and alcohol is important because you can make vinegar out of it, which is used for pickling, which is used for food later in the game, so that you can stockpile on food and not have to craft it as you go. I can't believe I completed that on a single breath. Slaughtering animals isn't a super good idea early game. They don't respawn to the best of my knowledge at all in TerraFirmaCraft, or at least it's very slow. And breeding them is also very difficult, so animals should be kept till pretty much mid to late game as a food resource, unless you're willing to completely abandon an area and just keep going for a while. Basically, if you're in single player, and so you don't have to care about anybody else, and you're not caring about the area as a possible place to build, it's fine to slaughter animals early game. But I would just, as a general rule, avoid it if you're in anything approaching an area that you would want to build in, basically. Just as a general rule. Now, obviously, as with all general rules, in air quotes, you don't have to follow it. It's not like it's going to kill you to slaughter all the pigs in a given area for a while. But it is basically eliminating pigs as a food source for the near future. Well, near to late future, basically. Right now I'm looking for a fresh water source, because ignoring the fact that I don't have wood to build a fire with, which is important for making a pit kiln, which is how I'm going to get the jar that I need to drink water. I just realized a huge mistake that I've been making walking this whole way, is I'm not near wood, but I'm also apparently freaking blind because this is technically considered a lake. It is shallow enough and not connected to the ocean that it is considered a lake. Yay. I feel super dumb. Okay, that is hematite, which is a type of iron ore, so I'm going to have to remember that. In fact, when I'm making waypoints, I normally prefer using the Antique Atlas for this mod, just because I feel like a minimap kind of takes away from the whole super caveman or super early low-tech style of the game. But, yeah, give and take. Anyway, when I'm making waypoints, I like to mark areas where I found nuggets with a question mark, so that I know for a fact that that's an area that I think there's metal in, not that I know there's metal in, because it's important to distinguish the two, because you can find even hematite at surface level. Like, even iron ores will occasionally just spawn in rocks near the surface. Now, this is a ravine, a crevasse. I don't know. This is a ravine. That's lignite, or galena. Dang. They look. You're kidding me. Another blood moon. Oh my god, I am screwed. Okay, well, very quickly, let's nap out an axe. That's an axe head napped out. Now I'm gonna need to get at least 8 logs to be able to make any kind of fire. And then I'm just gonna dig a hole in the ground and live in a hole for a bit. Assuming that I can find an area that is suitable for digging a hole in the ground. I am basically screwed on time because I didn't think there would be a second blood moon this early. I am pretty much doomed. Okay, so I got 10 rocks, that's fine. If I can find clay, the dirt should be able to hold itself up. Dirt falls as long as there is not a block under it, period, unless there is clay in the dirt, like there is here, in which case it can stay up on its own. So if you're going to build a survival hole, like I'm about to, look for clay. Alright, now I need to seal off my survival hole. Boop, boop. And now it is dark. I am going to fix the fact that it is dark momentarily. Just give me a mere second. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I can't tell where I threw those. That's where the log was. There we go. Oh, hey, spider. And you can't make blocks of clay. I just screwed myself. Unless I'm very careful. I feel super dumb now. I feel like I just basically screwed myself. Alright, well, let's light a fire there so they at least can't spawn there. And get a couple of torches cooking up so I have some light. There. Pop down a torch right there. Now, in order to use a pit kiln, you need some access to the sky. It doesn't have to be linear as long as there are no blocks in the way. Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah, nope, this is where I die. This is where I die. Well, that lasted all of 30 minutes. And it looks like I'm gonna have to start over. So, yay. Don't leave! Well, somebody was like, and that died quickly. And left. Alright, well, that's fine. More world options, same seed. I guess this time it won't be hardcore, or it will be hardcore, but it didn't tell me not to use the hardcore settings. What? That was weird. Anyway, starting over! Yay! Sorry to that one guy who seriously came to see this happen. Oh well. Well, we'll be playing on normal from here on out, I suppose. That's unfortunate. I was looking forward to potentially surviving in hardcore mode. But, the game, she's a harsh mistress. Okay, so I spawned over here, but if I remember correctly, the island is... Huh! It's a little bit different than it was last time. Neat! Well, that's interesting. There is a bit larger of a degree of randomness in TerrafirmaCraft than there is vanilla Minecraft, which is important to remember. Because, as you can see, this is definitely the same island. Some of the stuff is in the same place, but it's a little bit differently shaped. For instance, there was... Oh no, it's the same. It's the same and I'm dumb. It's the same and I am dumb. There is a bit large... There is definitely, though, a bit larger of a degree of randomness. Like, worlds with the same seed won't necessarily be identical, regardless of, like, how the same the seed is. But, apparently not to the degree wherein it would affect terrain gen. I've actually only experimented with using the same seed on multiple worlds a few times. It does generally cause little things to change. Well, it does generally still allow little things to change. Sometimes terrain. Not always, apparently, though. I have seen it change terrain sometimes, though. So, I wasn't not expecting this. Well, now we're not playing hardcore. Actually, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make sure that I actually take a little bit more time to make sure that it is hardcore mode, because the stream is called hardcore. And the world is called hardcore. Hardcore. More world options, all that's the same. Yeah. Okay, so it's still hardcore now, which is important to me as an individual. Alright. Well, this time, I'm going to be a little bit more careful, because I basically just accidentally proved to myself that the world is a dangerous and scary place. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful to start very quickly getting at least a survival-ish shelter and a water bottle very early game. Like, rather than trying to pick up stuff from the island for the most part, I'm going to head straight over to that mainland bit, probably right around where I was, honestly, when I died, and really quickly just try to get started super quick. Because apparently that is super important. Well, apparently nothing. I should have known better. Like, that death was entirely my own stupidity and had nothing to do with luck. I will readily admit that. That was entirely on me. But, when you fail, you learn. And when you learn, you succeed. Failure is a success. Yeah, that was a little bit more poetic than I was intending to be, but whatever. You get the point, god damn it. From every failure, you can learn something. Didn't somebody in My Hero Academia say that, actually? Huh, whatever. Moving on. Oh, speaking of My Hero Academia, they changed so much from the sub to the dub. Like, character motivations changed from the sub to the dub. It was pretty amazing. Like, this is one of the only times I've ever watched both. I typically watch the sub because it's usually a little bit more accurate. Not ever by a lot. They aren't, like, usually super different. But every once in a while you get an anime that doesn't really translate well directly into English, and so they end up having to adapt it into being a little bit more English-like, which generally tends to change a little bit how the plot goes, and yeah, character motivations and stuff change a little bit. But My Hero Academia was super different between the dub and the sub. I mean, like, almost nothing was the same. It was pretty shocking, honestly. At least to me it was. Like, one really, really annoying thing that changed between the dub and the sub is why Midoriya decides to keep the name Deku. In the dub, he basically says something along the lines of, oh, I just kind of started to like it because everybody calls me that. In the sub, it's a little bit more involved. See, Deku is shorthand for, I can't remember the Japanese word, but it basically means useless, but it could also be shorthand for a phrase that means something along the lines of you can do it, right? So, Deku says when he accepts the name Deku as his superhero name, he's like, he literally says, well, I'm gonna make this mean you can do it, basically. Whereas in the dub, he says, I just kind of grew to like it because everybody calls me that. And it's like, way to completely ditch important character stuff, yo. Like, that was pretty freaking important, guys. And you just threw it. You treated it like a softball, and you just, or a baseball, or a ball in general, you just threw it away. You were like, no, I don't need this, somebody else take it. I shouldn't be this deeply upset about that, but I am. Because, like, it is a hugely important character thing for Midoriya. Like, that was one of the big moments of change in the show. I mean, granted, it's from the most recent episode, right? So Funimation's quick dub might change in the real dub, because the way it's being dubbed is... Actually, I'm not sure if it's being dubbed by Funimation. But what Funimation is doing nowadays with most anime they release is they're doing a very quick cursory dub as the sub is coming out, so that people who want to watch the sub can watch, who want to watch the dub can watch it more or less as it airs. Generally speaking, these are people who can't quite read as quickly, so it makes a little bit of sense to me. I don't get super mad when other people don't agree that subs are better, because a lot of people can't read quite as quickly as I can, and even I have trouble keeping up with some dubs, some subs sometimes. So it's understandable. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So we're gonna focus early game right now on just not screwing up flint napping, for one thing. But we're gonna focus on getting our survival hole dug out so that we can survive the first night. And also getting a jug for water. Because the first night is apparently definitely going to be a blood moon. And so will the second night, apparently. And for all I know, every night will be a blood moon since it's hardcore mode. Which is super unpleasant, but not less fun. Honestly, I feel like I'm up to the challenge now that I'm aware of that. And I feel like it'll be fun now that I'm aware of it. I will not say that I am not at least a little bit upset, but I can adapt. I am an adaptable human being who will do his best to not get up this time. That said, really quick, I am going to do a little bit more exploring of the area to find stuff like this. Hickory trees that are, or spruce trees that are big and branching so that I can get a little bit more wood stockpiled up early. Because wood is important. Wood is so important. Yeah, like that was a good idea, breaking that tree. That'll be... pine? Where'd I get a pine tree? How did I get a pine tree? Alright, hi pine tree. I got some of your wood too, I guess. Anyway, I do have a little bit of time left before I have to start hurrying to prepare for night. So I'm gonna do a tiny bit of exploring just to see what's up with what. Actually, your first night survival shelter doesn't necessarily need to be crap, as a general rule of thumb. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna not make my first night survival shelter crap. I have an idea. It's not the best idea, but I have an idea. Alright, how am I gonna do this? Well, for one thing, I need to get down here. right? I have a fair bit of wood, which is why I think that I can do this in the first place. But... yeah, no, this is a good idea. I have no qualms calling this a good idea. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Alrighty. Wood will not fall down just because there's no blocks above it. I think wood is actually the most stable material in TerrafirmaCraft for building with. Like, it won't fall down usually at all. So, you can do stuff like this. Now, it's a little bit ugly building entirely out of walls, I will admit. But, I mean out of wood. Or logs, even. But, that's our first night survival shelter done. Now I'm gonna go get some of that clay. And then I'm going to at least start a pit kiln. I should not do a pit kiln inside, but night is about 12 hours, and pit kilns take about 8 hours. In-game hours, not real-world hours. That would be torturous. But, basically, since surviving the night and doing the pit kiln are going to take about the same amount of time, I figure I might as well do both at once, so that I only have to ramble over one extended period of time where there's really not much else I can do for a while. Right? That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Everybody agree with me that makes sense. That's a fair bit of wood, a fair bit of clay. There we go. By the way, you can find clay by looking for these goldenrod plants. They always grow above clay, and they only grow above clay. So they're a really good way to tell if you're looking at clay or not. Which is, you know, pretty freaking good. It's always nice when you have a definite way of knowing what you're looking at. A fair bit of clay. Now, I have that corn for food to survive the night, right? So I don't need much else. But, since I can definitely just run my butt in there tonight, I'm going to, as the sun sets, look around really quick and see if there's any other food that I can harvest right off the bat. Wild growing crops will not always be fully grown, by the way. In fact, as a general rule of thumb, they won't usually be on the first day, but some of them will, which is why it's important to look. So, I'm really quickly, that's either soy or green beans. I think it's green beans. Those are good. Soy is even better because it's the only plant that'll give you protein. But green beans are good because they're a fairly fast-growing, fairly stable, fairly filling crop. They're all around okay, and that's good. There is a cooking system that I'll get into later, once I've survived a few nights and have some stuff, but we're not going to get into that right off the bat, because it's not super important. I mean, it is. It's a way to maximize how much food you get from everything you eat, because if you make food that your character likes, which is different for every character, you get a little bit of a bonus in how much it feeds you. It's not a whole lot, but it is a bonus, which is important. I forgot to get... You need thatch, or not thatch, straw, which you get from breaking grass with a knife to do a pit kiln. I forgot to get that. So I'm going to risk getting injured, go out there at night, get some thatch, and then run really quick down here again, except that that's a bad idea because my house is dark and mobs will spawn in it. Okay, I am just buggered for tonight, I guess. Well, that's annoying. So what I'm gonna do, I guess, is just start my fire. Cooking food, just like cooking it as in burning it on a fire, is also a pretty okay way to increase food yields. As far as I've noticed, anyway. I could be wrong. Could be completely off base. But that's what I've noticed. Fires, by the way, I actually already went over this, but fires need direct access to the sky. Basically, they need a place for the smoke to go. So it's important that you always give that to your fires. Now, torches are pretty easy to craft, but they don't last forever in this because all you have to do is burn sticks in your fire. Basically. Now, if I hold Okay, so that's not sweet enough for me, not sour enough for me, not salty enough for me, not bitter enough for me, and not savory enough for me. So basically, it's a little bit not everything enough for my character. There, it is now sweet enough for me. Which is good. Come on. I've got to wait for it to cool to eat it. I always forget that. It's an easy thing to forget. But while we're doing that, we're just going to sit here and spam sticks into the fire to make torches, because that's how you do that. Which, I mean, gives you a decent yield. It's cheaper than vanilla torches. Well, you can't make vanilla torches in Terra... Actually, can you? Hold on. I'm not so sure about my words now. Keep sticking those in there. Huh. Yeah, no, it straight up removes vanilla torches. Okay. Well, I was correct. Anyway, so my character likes very well-cooked corn. Or medium corn. Anyway, so that's good to know. Now, since this is a live stream, and I don't have chat to talk to, this is going to basically be like a long-form Let's Play where I'm rambling a lot. But I ramble a lot anyway, so that's fine. I wonder how my character likes his green beans. I wonder if my character will like green beans, because it's possible that they will never taste just right for my character to like them. It is entirely a plausible idea for that to happen. Oh, no, he likes them just the way they are. Nice and sweet. Oh, Jesus. No! I waited too long. Now let's see if they get any better. Who knows? Maybe they'll become savory enough when they're basically overcooked. Yeah, no. Darker than dark is burnt, and burnt food is bad. So I basically screwed up these green beans. But now I know that my character likes his green beans very lightly cooked. Which is good to know. Your food tastes are based on information from your character name and the world seed. So they're not always the same from from world to world, which is it's important to know. It's an important thing to understand that, basically. I love this music. I said this already, but this is by Cyril the Wolf on YouTube. So if you like the music in the background, just go check out his channel. He makes lots of music. It's pretty much the entire theme of his channel. Alrighty, well, that's that fire run its usefulness, so I'm going to take the fuel out of it, put a couple of torches up. When torches go out, by the way, you can relight them with another torch from your inventory. That's another good way, that's another good thing about the torches. They don't stay forever, but you can relight them, which is, again, very good. It is still nighttime, but it's not staying. Hold on, tonight wasn't a blood moon! Oh, now I am upset. I am now very upset. I am filled with a deep and mournful regret. This is upsetting. I am mad. Well, I might as well instantly fuck up the recipe again. Right now what I'm making is a jug, which is useful because it allows you to transport water to drink. This is how you make a clay vessel, a small clay vessel, and this is how you make a large clay vessel. Those things are good for different things. The large clay vessel acts as a sort of backpack. The the small clay vessel is just a thing that you can put stuff in, which I should probably make more of, honestly. You can fit 4 of most things into a single pit kiln, but you can only fit 1 large clay vessel into a single pit kiln, which is important to remember. Anything else I can talk about for now that's of any decent level of importance? I can't seem to think of anything. Okay, so I do have enough wood for 3 pit kilns. It costs 8 wood per pit kiln, basically, as a general rule of thumb. So bear ye that in mind. I should probably light the rest of this ravine. That'll at least keep mobs from spawning in the ravine itself. Which is an important thing to do. Alright, so that's the ravine lit. Well, this side anyway. Okay, so it's almost day. Or it's day enough that I'm fine going outside. Which is good, because now I can get freaking hay, thatch, straw, whatever it's called, that I need to start my pit kiln. Straw. It's called straw. You can also harvest straw later in the game with a scythe, which allows you to gather a little bit more of it at a time. It will break a 3x3 area of grass instead and has a bit more durability. But most importantly, it's good for gathering sticks from leaves, the scythe. There you go. Screw you, zombie. You are the dead now. And I have enough straw to start these pit kilns, which is good, also. It's also good. Right, so... Alright, so going down here and gonna go and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you start that on fire. And hope it doesn't catch the wood you placed right there like an idiot on fire. Because you are in fact dumb. That's self-deprecation, by the way. Don't take that personally. I don't mean dumb. I mean mean. Oh, nice. Wow. So that is a very narrow passageway that could potentially light me on fire. That was a mistake. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay, well, mistakes all around. First night survival shelter. What do you expect? What do you expect, Morty? Alright, so we're gonna now, on day 2, start the hunt for metals. In the nearby area, anyway. Later on, once I've got stuff, I'll probably explore a little bit further of an area around what will soon be my home. Potentially hometown. I don't know. If people like this enough, I guess I can open a server like once a week for people to play on with me. And then build a town. But whatever. It's not super important. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. Oh yeah. So for later on, when I've got more stuff, I might go exploring in a little bit wider of an area, or I probably will. Once I've gotten established for better metal sources. because there's no guarantee that I'm going to get enough of any given type of metal nearby for it to be super useful. And obviously, while I know where some bismuth is, and potentially copper, I need sphalerite, which is a zinc ore, to make any use of either of those. And there's only one type of zinc ore, it is sphalerite, and I don't believe it spawns in the rock types nearby. So that's a teeny bit of a problem. Now granted, if you dig deep enough, you will find different rock types underground, but that takes a lot of digging. And cave exploration isn't super safe in TerrafirmaCraft. Simply because of the sheer quantity of mobs, honestly. Okay, look, a hot spring. Those will heal you. If you are injured and you hang out in one for a while, they will heal you, and it's great. So... shit. I'm not seeing any native copper or tetrahedrite, and you're not gonna see malachite. Malachite is another type of copper ore, but it only spawns in marble. I do see what looks like bismuthinite down there. Let's see, do I see any? Oh no, it's cassiterite. That's good. That is very good because that is one of the types of tin. The type of tin ore. That is down there, but I can guide some water into that hole. Way down. I don't have a pickaxe to mine that ore yet, but I did pick up some of the cassiterite nuggets off of the surface. If I remember correctly, it's... yeah, you use it in about 90 to 10 ratio. So if I get 9 copper nuggets, I can use this to make a single tin ingot. Or 20 copper nuggets, I can use 2 to make 2 tin ingots. Actually, the maximum quantity you can use is 12%, right? Yeah, that is unfortunate, because that means that I can't really leverage the cost of the copper with the cost of the tin like you can usually do with alloys. That rice is not fully grown, but when that rice is fully grown, that'll be good, because that's a grain crop, and grain is important because you need a balanced diet in TerrafirmaCraft to keep your maximum HP up. Maximum HP is affected by 2 things: your experience level and how good your diet is. Basically, TerrafirmaCraft requires you to eat healthy to be healthy, which I love. In fact, if we open the inventory and we go to right here, you can see that I've not been eating enough of anything. You can also see the time of year. You can also see your general skill levels there, and then obviously your inventory. It's a very well-made mod, being made by a team that has been working on it for a long time. So there are a lot of advanced features that just take time to program, basically. I'm really hoping to find copper sometime soon so that I can start crafting some kind of tools that are worth jack shit. I was really hoping I'd be able to leverage the cost of the copper with the tin. I knew that it was around 90% copper, but I was hoping that it was like 84 to 90% copper and not... yeah. Because if it's numbers like that, you can do a little bit of fudgery to get them into the area you need them to be by using larger quantities of each. Now that is native gold, which means that there is a gold vein somewhere near here. And gold tends to spawn rarely in large veins, which means that you can get a lot of gold very quickly, and I just nearly killed myself by accident being dumb. So, if we can find silver and copper, that means that we can get a lot of bronze, a lot of black bronze, which is my favorite type of bronze, early game. Oh god damn it, I am really bad at moving today. Anyway, I am very nearly dead, so I've got to be super careful, because I'm not going to regen without... well, with my water this thirsty, basically. This thirsty and this hungry, I'm not going to be doing any regenerating of HP. So I've got to now be uber careful. Which basically means no more playing around in these caves. Sad case. By the way, I'm not sure why the game just occasionally spawns these super broken areas, but they're great for finding metal in, so I have no objections. If you aren't on the verge of being dead, they're a great place to look for resources. But when you are super close to being dead, they're terrifying. That little sniff was me quickly inhaling out of fear of, you know, being dead, basically. Alright, so, man, that's got to be a fairly large gold vein, and it's got to be pretty close to the surface for you to be seeing that many nuggets. The number of nuggets basically is an easy way of seeing how close to where you are a vein is, because nuggets will be more and more common the closer the vein of metal is, essentially. I mean, that's simplifying it quite a bit, but that's basically true. It occurs to me that gabbro might not be a rock that copper can spawn in. I'm not certain. Oh no, this is andesite. Good. Andesite is another igneous rock, which means that it can be used for anvils and other important hard rock stuff, basically. But yeah. I think copper spawns in andesite, but I don't think it spawns in any form in gabbro. So we're going to want to stick pretty closely to this andesite rock type. Or the basalt rock type from, you know, the other island, which we could go back to get the 9 nuggets that we need. I think there are at least 9 nuggets worth of copper ore sitting on the surface over there. But that means swimming across the ocean, which is a little bit harder than running across the land. And I am regenning health slowly now, which is good. If I could find another hot spring, I would chill out in the hot spring for a bit to regen health a little bit more quickly. Oh, speak of the devil. Oh yeah, you see how much more quickly you generate health when you're in the hot spring? Moving around helps, and being surrounded by way more hot spring water helps too. If you can get yourself into a position where you're standing in like 8 blocks of hot spring water like I did just there, you can regen a lot of health very quickly. It's super stupid. One problem, though, is you can overheat in hot springs if you're not careful. So, you know, don't abuse them too heavily, basically, is the moral of the story. That was good, though. That got me a lot of health back. Which is good, obviously. It's not looking like tonight is going to be a blood moon, which is good. Because that means that we can just run home and we'll be mostly safe. And our water jug should be finished, so we should be able to start drinking soon, which is, I mean, that's pretty freaking important, honestly. Unfortunately, there will be monsters on the way home, so we're gonna have to be a little bit careful to avoid them. But, I mean, it's not super hard. As long as you are a little bit careful. Hot spring water. Now, we do have a hot spring pretty close to the house, so I might incorporate that in some way into the build of the home. One of my friends actually on a TerrafirmaCraft server once built a hot spring resort, sort of like you see in anime, and that was pretty fun. It was a fun build, too. It was the first time I built with any kind of Asian architecture. Specifically Japanese, actually. But, you know, whatever. Asian-style architecture. Alright, so let's just try not to die. I'm so tempted to set time today, but oh, I couldn't even if I wanted to, because, you know, hardcore mode doesn't allow you to use console commands. Okay, so that spider is definitely still following me. That zombie has sighted me. I am very low on health and dehydrating. Okay, I need to very, very much hurry home. Basically, one arrow from a skeleton will kill me right now. That is a copper javelin zombie, a skeleton. That is doom. That is my doom. Oh god, I made it. That spider can't get me in here because of the one block wide doorway. And I live! I made it home safely and alive. Yes. So much yes. I'm going to really quickly grab myself a can of soda. Right over here, actually. Alright. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually very happy about that. Like, obviously that wasn't safe. Obviously I didn't do that the safe way at all. But, I mean, I am alive. So, you know, that's good. I'm gonna wait till hour about 11 to start trying to beat that spider to death with a knife. Ah, frig it. Where are you? Oh, hi, spider! Like I said, experience is another way to up your overall HP level. So killing monsters is actually an important thing to do. So if you can kill monsters, kill monsters. I believe you do slashing damage, which is more effective against zombies. Oh, I aggroed all of the zombies with that, which is actually quite good because they can't get in here. Unfortunately, baby zombies do exist, and they can get in through that. So I'm going to have to figure out something to do about that to keep zombies out, but still allow it to see the skylight. To see daylight, rather. What's up, Susan? What do you guys need? Susan? Susan? Alexa, lights on. I have an Amazon Echo. What do you guys need? You got food and water, guys. Are you mad with the lights off? Or do you want attention? Never tell me, you guys. Or we're getting the same vocalization. Or I want attention as you finish more of some attention. I don't play with them nearly as much as I should. I wish I did. No? You've got food! I can see your food in your dish, guys. I can see the food in your dish, guys. Yes, squeak, squeak, squeak to you, too. I'm busy, guys. Calm down, guinea pigs. Calm down. Cool your jets. Hey, zombies. Zombies and or spider. Right here. Come get me. Oi! Oi! Come at me. I want your experience to increase my maximum HP. I think there is a hard limit to how high your maximum HP it can get, but I'm not sure what it is. Oh, there's that javelin skeleton, so I am going to go back into my house and do something a little bit sneaky. Okay, so that's not good. Oi, daylight! Well, when is day gonna be? It's hour 3, which means it's 3 in the morning, so it shouldn't be sunrise for another 3 in-game hours, which is about 3 minutes. I should just keep this fire going to kill zombies and stuff when they try to come down here. That'll probably be the most optimum way to use that as a zombie trap. I'm actually kind of annoyed it wasn't a blood moon again. Or that this time, as well as last time, it was not a blood moon. Would probably be a better way to put that, because I was kind of looking forward to getting a fair bit of monsters going. A fair few monsters going, rather. By the way, that slapping sound is me occasionally having to slap a fly. I have a fly problem. It's pretty bad. I've tried finding the source of them. They seem to just be existing in my room, popping into existence. I see you, javelin skeleton. Go on. Keep throwing your javelins. You're hitting the skeleton. You're hitting the zombie, who is not aggroing on you for some reason. You guys must be the best of friends. The best of friends. Smacked your leg. Smacked your leg again. Yeah, he's got good HP, and he's not susceptible to any kind of damage that I deal. So he's basically gonna keep being fine. Should not be hanging out with him. Yes, it's daytime. Well, close to daytime. Okay, so there's my ceramic vessels. Here's my large ceramic vessel, which you place, put stuff in, seal, break, and then it goes into this slot, and then your stuff is on your back. It's important that you put it in that slot, because if it's not in that slot, it's slowing you down. Oh, Jesus. Okay, nope, I am injured to the point where I'm being slowed. But I can handle this zombie. I can handle him. I can handle... Yes! Consider him handled. Yes. Suck it, zombie. I have definitely mentioned this before, but I love this song. And that's me on food and water for a while. Okay, so that little first survival hut did me well for a while. But A, I need to go heal up at a hot spring real quick. There are a couple nearby. They are the lighter colored water on the mini-map, by the way, if you're using a mini-map mod in conjunction with TerrafirmaCraft. So look for the lighter colored water if you're looking for a hot spring. More important than that, though, because I'm probably not going to die during the day, it's a little bit safer. I'm going to look for that rice to see if the rice has matured, which would be a great boon, because that would mean that I now have mature rice, which is a good source of grain. It's not the best source of grain. My favorite source of grain is actually barley, but, you know, whatever. You take what you can get. You're at 86%. You are fully grown. You are mature. Harvest, and job done. I do still need to look for copper. That is high up on my list of things to do right now. In fact, it's top of the list right now. But really quick, just enjoy enjoy some time in a hot spring. Okay. If I remember correctly, corn is also a grain in the game, so... Actually, will it literally just tell you? Yes, it will. And that's enough HP for me. Alrighty. Looking around for copper. This is Gabbro. There seems to recall saying that Gabbro might not spawn in. Copper might not spawn in Gabbro at all, but it might. I'm not sure, so I'm going to look around anyway before jumping across the pond to some other spots. So, whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Woo! I did not realize that ravine was there until I had just barely managed to stop in front of it. Which is... I mean, that is, if nothing else, ample warning that you should always watch your step. Sheesh. That would have been death. That would have been me dead immediately. Game over. Which, I mean, like, as far as I'm concerned, is enough for me to be like, get stream over. The beginning, more like the end. Alrighty, so... Oh, that's jute. Jute is important because jute can be used to make rope. For those of you who have maybe played Stranded Deep, it's the equivalent of yucca. Or yucca. Yucca? 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 That stuff what makes string. It's a little bit more involved in TerrafirmaCraft, but not the most involved thing in TerrafirmaCraft, in all honesty. It's still relatively simple. You just soak it in water for a while. By that I mean in a barrel full of water. So you're all at 98%. But in the meantime, I have enough jute fiber that I can make a loom, which means I should, well, you can make a loom without having to have jute fiber. But I have enough jute that I could use a loom to get enough cloth to make a bed. Actually, no, if I recall correctly, yeah, it takes a lot more than I have to make a single piece of burlap. I need about 4 times as much as I have. 4 times rounding up, mind you. It's probably more like 3.5. So I'm gonna go with 4 times as much as I have on me. But that's not terrible because jute grows fairly quickly. And being that it's not a foodstuff, it doesn't spoil, so you can stockpile it for a while. One mildly annoying thing about this game is it's hard to propagate plants by growing them, as opposed to going out and getting the seeds from the wild. So it's a little bit involved spreading your crops. I am glad, though, I found more of the salt, which means that I am in an area wherein copper may well spawn. For sure, in an area wherein copper may well spawn. So I'm looking to get probably 18 to 27 copper nuggets if I can. It's unlikely that I'll get that much, but I mean, I'll take as much as I can get. I know I have 3 cassiterite nuggets, which is important because I've got to get the ratio exactly right, which is a little bit on the irritating side, but whatever. So, where might copper be? Were I copper, where might I be? That is indeed a valid question. If you weren't sticking to the area you're in, it's better to harvest all of a crop, even if it's not grown when you see it in the wild, for the seeds. But if you intend to stick to an area, leave it around so that it can grow in the wild for a bit, and you won't have to wait for it to grow when you replant it for like twice as long. Because the growing season is only so long. So it's important to kind of maximize what you're growing in that time. And if you can let nature grow your plants for you instead of wasting nutrients in your soil, you're way better off. If you're going to stick to an area, let the wild plants grow to maturity before you cut them from their roots. Now then. Again, were I copper, where might I be? Oh, hey there. A little bit more of that ravine that almost killed me. That's nice to see you again. Okay. Unfortunately, it looks like it may be necessary for me to hop across the ocean in one direction or another in order to find copper. I'm probably not going to do that. Not for any reason in particular, necessarily. I would rather not swim, and until you can get a saw, you can't make a boat, so... I wish there was a way to make a boat without using a saw in this game. Because, like, the first canoes, well, the first boats, actually, weren't made using metal tools. They were made using stone tools. We know this to be the case for a fact, in fact. Dugout canoes, for example, were often made with stone tools by the Native Americans. I mean, that's an obvious one, but it is an example of this. And I will use examples whether they be obvious or not. I am running low on inventory space for these potatoes that I just found. Potatoes are a good staple crop. Potatoes grow, they grow quickly, and they grow in large numbers. They're not super demanding in terms of soil conditions. They are a staple crop. They're the thing you grow when nothing else will grow in your soil. Well, not really. What you grow when nothing else will grow in your soil is let it grow over with grass to refresh itself, or fallow for a season. That literally just means let it rest, basically. Let the soil rest and regain nutrients. You can fertilize soil in TerrafirmaCraft, but fertilizer is expensive and not the best idea. Your best idea is to spend every season growing a crop that requires a different nutrient, and basically have 3 large plots. All of a given plot uses a given nutrient, etc. But that's not doable until you have a metal hoe, so that you can tell what nutrient a given crop requires. And I swear to God, if tonight ends up being the blood moon, it's not. The blood moon message would have popped on by now. I am annoyed that it is night again, though, and that I wasted all of that time. Well, I can't say I wasted it. I got a good amount of stuff that will be useful later. It's just I didn't get anything that's useful now. And I want stuff that's useful now. Not stuff that's useful in fucking an hour of gameplay, basically. I'll probably let... Yes! Copper. Okay. Okay. Mark that. Mark it. It's marked. Good. Moving on. Hardcore darkness is installed, so nighttime is extra dark. I will not be able to see my way home at night. Basically. I've got to... Well, I've got torches, so never mind, I will. But I still have to hurry. Especially since dynamic lights really does hate frame rates. It's like, I don't want you to see it more than 5 frames per second. That would be too easy. Copper nuggets. 1 more, that's all I needed. Yeah. Alright. Oh no, that's not all I needed. I need 1 more than that. Crap, I miscounted. Good. I can make an ingot of basic bronze, which I'll probably use for a pickaxe now that I know where A, cassiterite, and B, copper are. Now, finding that copper vein is not going to be the universe's easiest thing, because I don't have a prospector's pick. It's going to require a fair bit of mining around in the general area that I think it's going to be, but I more or less know what I'm doing in that regard, so it shouldn't be too difficult for me. I'm pretty good at prospecting in TerrafirmaCraft. Right now, what I need to do most, though, is just run. I'm not going to survive this night standing still. I don't have weapons, I don't have armor, and I am a little bit on the lost side. I can't really afford to check my large map because I've got to run. So tonight is a running night. But thankfully I've got food and water, so I can survive running for a night. And it's not a blood moon, so that helps a little bit too. It is still obviously going to be a little bit dangerous to run at night, or to spend the entire night running, but like I said, I can more or less make it. I don't have a whole lot to worry about. Actually, I know where I am now, so I can run home. Good, 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 good. If I had jumped a little bit earlier there, I would have taken a tiny bit of fall damage, which is why I let myself fall initially. A lot of people don't realize how calculating I am, but yeah, whatever. Okay, I can see my ravine. I can see my home. Oh, yes, the light. The light is good. I also saw some fruit trees back there, which are going to be really good for us. But again, that's not a now thing, that's an in a bit thing. I see you, spider. Don't you dare think I'm not going to fight you. Out of my home. Out of this house. Out of this house. Out of here. Go. String is good because I can make silk out of it. So I need to pick that up and then run. Block, 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 block. Good enough. Block, block. Block. And good. Bam. Bam. Come on! Bam. I need to break some of this wood. I don't have enough wood. Do have enough straw though. Right? Yeah. I have enough straw. Pip kiln. Do I have clay on me? I put my clay in here, didn't I? Yeah. Just plonk you down there, unseal. I need not an ingot cast, I'm going for a pickaxe cast, right? So I'm gonna get a pickaxe cast, which is this, that. The interface is very similar to stone napping. So that's an easy way to remember. It's basically the inverse of whatever the stone napping pattern is for most materials. I mean, for most things. So we need 4 more logs. Get that from here. If I seem a little bit rushed, it's because I don't want to risk being outside of my little survival shelter at night. Oh, jeez. I drank the soda too fast, so now I've got belches. Alright. By the way, that fire is going for 2 reasons. 1, zombies that try to get in through there, they're gonna burn. 2, potatoes. On wood. I need to get wood first thing in the morning. But that's fine. I can do that. That's not hard. It's not hard at all. I am, however, going to likely have to keep relighting this as it's cooking because you can see the temperature goes down when it's not burning any wood. But you can keep relighting it even if you're not burning any wood. And it's cold. Yep, that's unfortunate. I was not expecting that. Well, that's too bad. Oh, and my torches went out. Bloop, bloop. So that's that potato cooking up. Alrighty. Now for planning my next move. I think the best thing I can do... A, wood. Wood is the first thing I need to gather. Right after I gather wood, though, my next move's going to have to be to find that copper vein, which shouldn't be too difficult. The cassiterite vein shouldn't be very difficult either. The copper vein is probably going to be the more difficult part of that. Since the cassiterite is almost certainly not going to be easy to add up into a sum that is divisible by 10%, it's going to be a little bit more complicated to turn that into, like, obviously actual numbers of units. So I'm probably going to end up with a little bit left over every time, which is unfortunate. I overcooked my potato a little bit. Well, it's not overcooked, it's just I don't know if I overcooked it or not, because I don't know what my character likes in potatoes because I wasn't paying attention. Alright, so let's watch you. Very light? No. He does not like it very light. And obviously that's done. Alright, whatever. I will fight you, zombie. You are in my home. You wanna try to invade my home, zombie? You're gonna fight me. You gonna fight me, zombie. You gonna fight me. Yes, my maximum health improved. That is good. That is very good. And it is daytime. And that is almost done. So I am going, well, 4 minutes remaining. I am going to go chop down some trees then. I think that's what the plan was, right? Quickly get a chug from my jug. Alrighty, I see you, spider. You're one of the ones that can survive in the daytime. So, come here, you motherfucker. I'm gonna fight you. Oh, he is an especially strong spider, health-wise. Okay, well, I am not gonna fight you. I am not gonna fight you, spider, at all. You are far stronger than I had anticipated, and as such, I do not wish to confront you any further. Good day, spider. Good day. I say good day, sir. There's that copper question mark. Now, the cassiterite. It would be far more advantageous to check out that cassiterite right now to see if the cassiterite is of poor or any better quality, because that will determine how easy it is to do the math moving forward. Basically. For lack of a better way to put it, that'll determine how easy it is to do the math. Alright. If they're of the same quality, then the math works out to still be 1 in 10 regardless. But if they're of different qualities, then I've got to do a little bit more complicated math. If it is of normal quality and the copper is of rich quality, then that makes my life a little bit more difficult, because 35 plus 35 is 70, and then, you know, add 25 to 70 and you've got less than 100%. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit annoying. There's no way around that. It's going to be a bit annoying. But how annoying is more or less up to me at this point, frankly. So that's fine. Now, you are... Oh, god damn it, it's rich. That... I'm gonna have to make large quantities of ingots, there's no way around it. In fact, that may not even be useful until I get a crucible, because that's such a high quantity. Let's see. 35 would mean that I would have to use... Jesus Christ. Assuming the copper is rich, I would have to use 27 rich copper. That is... per one of those, basically. That is a lot. That's almost undoable, in fact. Okay, well... I mean, I guess there's nothing I can do but check that in copper and see if it's right near the surface. I do have to hurry home because the metal is going to be cooling down in the pit kiln for as long as I am not turning it into an ingot, and it has been more than 4 in-game hours now, so I have to rush, or I'm going to have to remelt it, which is a little bit annoying. In fact, it might be advantageous to just run home first. It is going to be advantageous, period, to just run home first. So I'm going to say, fuck it to checking the copper at all, I've got to hurry. Worst case scenario, though, is I have to restart that pit kiln, which means I'll need to get the wood anyway, so, you know. That's fine. Very much annoying, but it's fine. But, whatever, it's not a huge deal. I mean, I'm not willing to complain about that, right? Like, that's... At least I'm doing better than I was last time, right? Like, I've got ingots worth of material smelting at very least. And I think there's a way to break down ores into nuggets, but you lose a little bit of it in the process. So, if push comes to shove, that is a thing I can do in order to get it to be even multiples of a number that I can work with. I think the method breaks pour down into 1 nugget, average down into 2 nuggets, and then rich down into 3 nuggets, which is perfectly suitable. Alright, well, I'm gonna go check on that copper now. Really quickly, though. At least chop down 1 tree. Just to, you know, get the tree chopping started, basically. Just... bloop. I got 6 logs from that because my axe broke. Whatever. Fuck it. Not important. Not the important issue right now. At all. The important issue is getting to that copper and checking it before it gets too late. Which is very quickly becoming the case. I suppose if I need to, I can barricade myself into whatever copper mine I might be able to make. And there is... I can make copper tools if I can't get the necessary amounts to use that cassiterite. And I can keep making copper tools until I get sphalerite or silver to make black bronze. Because I have both bismuth, not business, and gold around, so I can use either of those special alloys too. So it's not super critical that I even use that cassiterite. I mean, basic tin basically isn't as useful as other tins are. That's what I meant when I said that cassiterite isn't super great. But whatever. It's not super duper important. if the copper is rich, it's still going to be a 9-to-1 ratio of copper versus tin that I'm using, which means 27 to 3, not 27 to 1 like I said earlier. That was a dumb number I pulled out of my head when doing the math. It's still going to be 10 to 1, assuming they're both rich. But if this isn't rich, then I've kind of gotten to hope, right, that it's normal. Because if it's poor, or sorry, that it is poor, because if it's normal, oh no, if it's poor, I can't use it. Oh shit. Oh shit. So this basically has to be rich or I can't make tin. Well, I can't reasonably make tin. I can make tin with it, but it's going to be a pain in the ass. This is around where the copper was densest nugget-wise, which is why I put the mark here. Typically, when you're prospecting without a prospecting pickaxe, which allows you to detect ore veins, sort of, you would place a rock or a piece of cobble or whatever everywhere you picked up a nugget of ore. I didn't do that because I didn't feel the need to, because I've never felt the need to. What I do know is it doesn't spawn in this rock, so I don't know why I'm looking there. It'll be in the basalt over here. As lead, I'm not going to use that. In fact, actually, where's the basalt? It's right here, right? See if I can see any more copper nuggets over here. Ooh, that's a cave. I know I said caving is dangerous. That is still very much the case, but risks are sometimes worth it, basically, is the excuse I'm going with here. Might be worth the risk. If it is, then I'd be kicking myself in the butt for not taking the risk later. It's not. Okay. So, a little bit less risky than I was expecting. But, still. It was a dangerous decision that I made correctly, I guess, because there wasn't any real risk associated with it. But there was the possibility for reward, which made it worth it. It ended up being a small cave. Caves in TerrafirmaCraft tend to be far larger than caves in vanilla Minecraft. And I don't mean like that they're more spacious, I mean that they go on for long, long stretches. That was an exceptionally short cave. You know what? The basalt is almost certainly below the gabbro in this area. I'm betting it is in the basalt below the gabbro, based on how sparse but spread those nuggets were. So what I'm going to do is keep digging down until I get into the next layer of rock, and hopefully I'm wrong about what types of rock it can spawn in. Who knows? But I'm going to keep digging down until I get into the next layer of rock and hopefully find it. And also hopefully not end up with, you know, a cave-in on my head, because cave-ins can happen, rocks can fall. It's important to be careful in this game, with this mod specifically. So, you know, take a little bit of caution when you're doing stuff like this. Understand that rocks can fall on your head and you can die, and that this is a risk. This is inherently very risky. Now, typically when rocks fall, only a single layer falls at a time, meaning that you're not likely to suffocate. But if rocks do fall all at once, it's probably because you were breaking stuff, and if you have your pick, I don't know if this is going to be the case because I'm in hardcore mode and you take more damage in hardcore mode, but hopefully I can break the block that falls on me just in time to save my behind. I'm picking up the rocks because rocks are good to have. In fact, bam, 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 bam. No, wait, I can only fit 4 things into one of those. I'm silly. Alright. Okay, well, mining is always fun to watch, right? loves watching people break stone with a pickaxe. Seriously, Copper, you need to be, like, right here, like, right now. I'm getting super antsy digging this deep below the earth. There is no guarantee, by the way, that this is where that ore vein was centered on. In fact, if I get to the basalt, or whatever layer of rock is below the gabbro, and I don't see the copper fairly soon, I'm probably going to start poking holes elsewhere, and I'll probably be poking those holes straight down. There is a huge risk involved in that, mind you, but some risks are worth it. You may find in the end that it was the right decision. It's hard to tell. But with any luck, it will have been. And that was a tiny, tiny cave-in you just saw. Actually, you've seen two already. That was the second tiny, tiny cave-in you just saw. And I was right, the basalt, there is basalt below the gabbro. There's no guarantee the copper will be in this basalt, this area of basalt. It may well be further away. In fact, it's probably further away. Or somewhere else, rather. But... oh, hey, I got a gem. Gems also glow. The better the gem, the brighter the glow. That one's a very weak gem, so it glows very weakly. Now, I'm going to... oh, God. Do some branch mining really quick. To get a good look at the area as far as the ores are concerned. I really should have brought some quartz with me, but that requires a saw, which requires metal, which I don't have enough of because I made it do a pick. Because this wouldn't have been possible in the first goddamn place without a pick, so the pickaxe was still the right choice. Alright, I'm not seeing it down here. Maybe in this direction. I don't know. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is what I meant when I said that caving is dangerous. Cave-ins can happen in caves, and they're way more dangerous there because there's a lot more rock to fall. And I found the bismuth. Neat. There was also bismuth nuggets up there. I saw them, but I didn't feel like mining them. Okay, well, that's good to know. Getting out of this hole. Man, we dug a while to find nothing. And it's probably daytime already. Okay, this is a good sign, actually. Look how densely packed the copper nuggets are in this area. Alright, well, I'm going to probably spend the night in that mine, but I'm going to mine over that way. In fact, I'm going to go from right about here and just dig that a ways. Veins tend to be fairly large, so if you have a rough idea of where they are, if you're within like 15, 20 blocks in either direction of them, well, no. If you're within 10 to 12 blocks in either direction of the center, you can usually find them. That's vertically and horizontally. And, wow! That cave-in couldn't have been any less dangerous. That was... well, any more dangerous, rather. That very nearly would have ended my life if I hadn't been very lucky. I got super, super lucky there. Wow, this is a big one, too. Yeah, no, this is a game over cave-in right here. Jesus Christ. See, the game is telling me to stop, but I'm not gonna listen. Close to midnight when I came down here. Yeah, so it's pretty good. It's getting to day. So it'll be daytime in probably like 2 or 3 more in-game hours, in fact. So, you know. Assuming I don't die down here, I should be able to go up to the surface pretty soon. Woo! Jeez. Another really widespread one. I really should stop. But the thing is, I should. It's a very different thing from I will. Or I have to. Digging. Ho ho! Wow. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I think I'm good here. I think it's about daytime, right? I'm getting the hell out of this hole. Besides, I dug well over into this area. Oh, shit! Shit! Come on. Get into my friggin' teeth! Oh, shit! Oh! Sheesh! Come on, Spider. It's daytime. You're in the light. Stop being so mean. I need another shovel. I'm gonna go straight down this time. Right. Where are they centered? Just about right here. By the way, safe way to dig down. Stand between 2 blocks, dig them away one at a time. Unless you are super unlucky, you shouldn't end up killing yourself doing that. And I realize I just said the words safe way to dig straight down in Minecraft. But, like, that's because that is correct. Mind you, it is the safe way to dig straight down, not a safe way to dig. Well, there are other safe ways, but that is the easiest safe way to dig straight down. And about the only one that maintains the advantage of digging straight down as opposed to digging down in diagonals. Alright. Just gonna sit here, rest up a little bit. It's not there. It's probably going to be in the basalt beneath this. So, I'm going to do the same thing I did over there, sort of, but this time a little bit tighter, in that I'm not going to go so far between turns, because I think it's going to be right around here. I'm even more certain than I was last time, in fact, that it's going to be pretty damn close to right around here. So, I am going to be a little bit careful, more careful though. I'm going to be a bit more careful this time. Turning the surface. Alright, given the distribution, I think the furthest one I found away was... furthest way I found one was... so... probably right in this area. Or even a little bit over this way, but... I'm not certain. Really can't be certain unless I get a prospector's pick. But if it's as deep down as it might be, I'll probably only ever find traces of it on the surface, and given how hilly the terrain is, that's a very inefficient way of looking for it anyway. So my best bet is probably to look for a different vein. That was a lot of wasted time, I know, but that's how it goes in TerrafirmaCraft. If you're not careful, you waste a lot of time and energy. You know what? I'm gonna do a little bit of light caving, actually, if I can find a hot spring to heal up in first. Alright, well, let's get some water down there. I have an easy way down. Or a ravine, which means you should intersect with a cave somewhere. There's also a ravine over here that should also intersect with a cave somewhere. Or definitely does. I can see that there's a cave down there. Break some water. Oh no, there isn't a cave. It's just a pit. That's all that one is. It's a pit. A pit of despair, as it were. Alright, well, it's getting to be midday, so I'm gonna actually head over to that island, the Basalt Island, and see if there's maybe some copper over there. Best bet at the moment. So I'm gonna head over that way. It's getting close to time to wrap up, actually. So you know what? I'm not gonna end the stream until I see if there is in fact copper over there on that little island. Or at least get to that little island and then see if there's... Well, I know there's copper nuggets there, so there's gotta be copper there. Nuggets only show up on the surface when there's an ore beneath them. So I've just gotta see where the copper is over on that island. single ingot, well, a single another ingot of bronze. So what I could do is make a prospector's pick and use that to locate where the vein actually is before I start digging. But being that I've been stupid in the past, I'll be stupid again, just out of habit, and just start digging. Right about here feels good. Watch. I find the copper almost immediately. Watch. Alright, well, down to the basalt. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep digging straight down a little bit more until I get to an area where I can dig horizontally. The basalt. Alright, so that's... I had to get a little bit further now. I prefer finding veins at the top of the vein, but, I mean, I can't really bitch if I come in towards the middle of the vein. Typically, you'll see them closer to the surface of a given type of stone than you will to the bottom of a given type of stone, in my experience, but that's not always the case. So, you know. Oh. Alright, well, that, by the way, is why I didn't want to go further up. Cobblestone falls down, dirt falls down and over, which can kill you. Anyway, I think this is where I'm going to leave the stream, mostly because I have to use the bathroom anyway.